Welcome to the Getting Started tutorials for VirtualLab Fusion. In this tutorial, we will introduce the basic concept of light path diagram, and after watching this video, you should be able to build up your own system. As you might remember from the introduction, this is one of two modeling approaches, the other one being for main window modeling. For more information about the latter, we invite you to visit the corresponding tutorials available through the link, but here let us focus on the light path diagram, whose role is to provide a platform for users to build up their own optical systems, including sources, components, and detectors. There are several ways to generate a new light path diagram. In the Quick Access toolbar, File or Start ribbon, users can click on the button Light Path Diagram or directly use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-L. Then two windows are generated. One is the light path view and the other is the light path editor. It is possible to move back and forth between them through the toggle button in the upper right corner. When either of these two windows is active, two document-specific ribbons appear. We will use them to configure the optical setup. The system is built up in the light path view. All the different elements which can be included in your system are listed in the panel on the left, including sources, components, ideal components, which are transfer functions of optical elements or systems, and detectors. Users need to choose the appropriate optical elements, drag them onto the section on the right in order to construct an optical system. Each element has its index and name. The name can be edited. Linkages between these elements can be configured here by clicking and dragging the mouse between the two small triangles. If you would like to disable this linkage, you just have to double-click it. If you would like to delete the linkage, you just have to select it and press delete on the keyboard. This is the simplest way to configure the linkages, but there are other options which will be shown later. An example is given in the tutorial Build Up Your Optical System. In the bottom of the light path view, there are another two buttons. Users can write comments in notes, like for example the purpose of a document or its parameters. The blue button gives some comments about positions. The light path editor is a document for configuring the linkages of the optical path, as well as other simulation settings. There are 4 tabs here. In the Path tab, you can define the sequence and connection between various elements in the light path view. If you create or change a light path in the light path view, it will automatically appear in the light path editor and vice versa. Under the Channel section, you can define whether the light shall be reflected from or transmitted through the component. For reflection channels, the linkage becomes red. When the simulation engine is classic field tracing, the user can define the appropriate propagation method. By default, the automatic propagation operator is used, which means that VirtualLab Fusion chooses the operator automatically according to certain requirements of accuracy and computational cost defined by the user. Here we can also choose the algorithm to calculate the field in a tilted plane. Similarly to the Path tab, in the Detector and Analyzer tabs there is a list of detectors and analyzers respectively. What is the difference between a detector and an analyzer? Detectors are used to show physical properties of a field in the detector plane, like the power of the output field. Analyzers show field information within one optical component, or even for the whole optical system. The system or component information is also shown. For instance, the ray tracing system analyzer shows the ray propagation through the whole optical system, or the field inside component analyzer, which shows the field distribution in a grating or green medium. The Logging tab shows the progress of a simulation. In the bottom of the light path editor, there are different buttons. Most of the buttons are also shown in the document-specific ribbons. In the light path ribbon, we can find parameter overview, parameter run, and parametric optimization, and so on. In the tools ribbon, we find different buttons to configure the linkages, components, or catalogs. Here we're just going to illustrate the handling of some buttons to configure the linkages. The other functions will be shown in the next tutorial, light path diagram, document-specific ribbons. If the aim is to connect several elements sequentially based on the index, we just need to simply click Complete Sequence Generation or Partial Sequence Generation, where the last index of a path must be provided. Toggle light source is used to exchange the current active light source with another one. If we want to insert element 4 between 1 and 2, we can click on Insert Element button. Element to insert is 4, and insert after element 1, click OK. By using the Exclude Element button, we can simply exclude element 3, or using the Exchange Element button to replace element 2 by 5. This information should enable you to set up your own optical system using the light path diagram. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.